Imagine, for a moment, a world where the speed of information depended entirely on the strength of a horse or the wind in a ship's sails. A world where crucial news could take weeks, even months, to cross continents, and where urgent decisions often arrived too late. Now, picture the precise moment when all of that changed, when a seemingly simple sequence of dots and dashes didn't just break down the barriers of distance, but wove the first true global communication network, connecting people instantly across thousands of kilometers. Today, we reveal the fascinating story behind the discovery of Morse code, an invention that not only revolutionized communication in 1837, but paved the way for the digital world we live in today. At the dawn of the 19th century, humanity was craving speed. The Industrial Revolution was driving new demands, and the need for fast, reliable communication became urgent. In the midst of this technological awakening, one man emerged as a visionary, the American inventor Samuel Morse. In 1837, he introduced to the world the revolutionary electric telegraph, and inseparably tied to it, a language system both ingenious and simple, Morse code. This event was far more than the invention of a machine. It was the spark of a new era. It not only accelerated the exchange of information, transforming warfare, commerce, and daily life, but also planted the seeds for all the technological advancements that followed, from the telephone to the internet, from fiber optics to satellite communications. Understanding Morse code is to understand the roots of our modern connectivity. To truly appreciate the genius behind Morse code, we must step back into a pre-electric world, a world where communication was physical, and therefore painfully slow. Imagine the frustration of rulers, merchants, and families waiting weeks for critical news. Before the 19th century, messages depended on horses pulling carriages, ships driven by unpredictable winds, or messengers traveling on foot. A letter from Europe to North America could take months. Strategic decisions during wars often arrived too late, and the fate of armies and nations was sealed by the slowness of communication. But necessity breeds innovation. The Industrial Revolution, with its sprawling factories, expanding railways, and booming trade, created a relentless demand for faster communication. There was no more time to wait. Railways needed to know if the next station was clear. Merchants needed up-to-date market prices. Governments needed timely information about enemy troop movements. Communication and efficiency had become a bottleneck to progress. Inventors worldwide began looking to electricity, a mysterious yet promising force. From Hans Christian Oersted's discovery in 1820 of the relationship between electricity and magnetism, to Michael Faraday's work on electromagnetic induction, the foundations of electrical signal transmission were being laid. Prior to the electric telegraph, even optical semaphore systems were used. Towers with movable arms signaling messages visually from station to station. But these depended on clear weather and line of sight, limiting their reliability. The stage was set for an invention that could break through these barriers. And then, Samuel Morse entered the scene. Interestingly, Morse was not a scientist or an engineer by training. He was a renowned portrait painter, an artist of notable talent. His life took an unexpected turn after a personal tragedy and a voyage to Europe in 1832. During his return journey aboard the ship Sally, Morse overheard conversations about electricity and electromagnetism. Somewhere in the middle of the Atlantic, an idea sparked in his mind. If electricity could travel through a wire, why couldn't it carry a message? Back in America, Morse, now a man obsessed, dedicated himself to developing a practical electrical communication system. He wasn't alone in this journey. In 1837, he partnered with Alfred Vail, a brilliant machinist and inventor whose contributions were absolutely essential. While Morse had the vision, Vail provided the practical expertise, refining the telegraph's hardware and, crucially, improving Morse code itself. Morse's original code was quite complex. It was Vail who simplified it, basing the length of dashes and dots on the frequency of letters in the English language. For example, the letter E, being the most common, was assigned the shortest signal, a single dot. This practical brilliance made the code remarkably efficient for electrical transmission. In 1837, Morse and Vail conducted their first public demonstration, transmitting messages over just a few meters of wire. But their real test was yet to come. May 24, 1844. History was made. Samuel Morse, using his perfected telegraph, sent the first official public message across 40 miles of wire, connecting Washington, D.C. to Baltimore. The message chosen was a biblical phrase, "What hath God wrought?" A simple sentence, transmitted by electricity, that not only inaugurated the era of telecommunications, but echoed around the world as a sign of a new era of human connectivity. The telegraph's success was explosive. In just a few years, telegraph lines stretched like a web across the planet, connecting cities, nations, and eventually entire continents. The communications revolution was unprecedented. Businesses that once waited weeks for information could now receive news from distant markets in minutes. Governments could coordinate armies and diplomacy with speeds previously unimaginable. Newspapers, once limited to old news, could now report on events almost in real time, transforming journalism forever. The economic impact was staggering. Stock exchanges in cities like New York and London, once weeks out of sync, now received updates in near real time. This enabled faster, more efficient transactions, redefining global commerce. Railways, expanding rapidly, could now coordinate train movements, avoid collisions, and optimize freight transport. Logistics and empire management would never be the same. One of the most impressive milestones came in 1858 with the installation of the first transatlantic telegraph cable. Imagine the ambition: a heavy, insulated cable laid along the ocean floor, connecting Europe and North America. Though the first attempt was short-lived, it proved the concept. Success came in 1866 when a stronger, more durable cable permanently linked the continents. From then on, news like the assassination of Abraham Lincoln could reach Europe in minutes, not weeks, offering dramatic proof of the power of this technology. Though eventually overtaken by newer technologies, the telegraph and Morse code left an indelible legacy. Not only did they dominate communications for nearly a century, but they also paved the way for future innovations. The success of the telegraph inspired the quest to transmit voices electrically, leading to Alexander Graham Bell's invention of the telephone in 1876. The idea of transmitting sound was a natural evolution from transmitting electric pulses. Morse code itself remained vital in critical communications. At sea, it was the primary method for ships to communicate with coastal stations, with the famous SOS signal becoming universally recognized. In wartime, it was essential for secure and reliable military communication. Its simplicity and effectiveness kept it relevant for decades. But perhaps the most fascinating legacy of Morse code lies in its anticipation of digital logic. The concept of transmitting information via binary signals, dots and dashes, electrical pulses on and off, is the very foundation of today's digital communication. The binary code that underpins all modern computing, from the internet to smartphones, can trace its conceptual roots back to Morse's simple yet powerful system. Even today, Morse code is studied and used in amateur radio, survival training, and emergency situations, a testament to its durability and effectiveness. The story of Morse code is a vivid reminder that simple solutions can generate profound, world-changing impacts. Its universality and adaptability allowed it to spread rapidly and endure. It teaches us that technological innovation isn't always about complexity. Often, it's about solving fundamental problems in the most direct and practical way. Today, surrounded by instant messaging and global video calls, it's easy to forget that our connected world began with a spark of electricity and a series of dots and dashes. The story of Morse invites us to reflect on the true power of communication, not just as a tool for transmitting information, but as a force that shapes societies, economies, and human interaction itself. From the slow rhythm of handwritten letters to the electric buzz of the telegraph, the discovery of Morse code in 1837 was not just a step, but a giant leap for humanity. It marked the beginning of a new era, connecting people, shortening distances, and transforming the way the world operated. It's a story of vision, perseverance, and human ingenuity at its finest. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the story of Morse code and found inspiration in how a simple idea can change the world, please click like to help us continue creating quality content. And to not miss any of our future explorations into history and science, subscribe to the channel and activate notifications to continue your journey through knowledge and discover another world-changing event. Click on the video appearing on your screen right now. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey. May the story of Morse code inspire you to reflect on the priceless power of communication and the constant evolution of our ability to connect. See you in the next video.